Well, from the Rose Bowl to now, Vince Young is either the greatest human being to ever walk the planet, or he's the most overhyped college quarterback of all time. There seems to be no middle ground.
The owner of the Tennessee Titans says Vince Young must go.
As Vince became less and less accountable, then they don't start to win games. Then you show up your coach and walk off the field. Like, come on, that's like unheard of stuff. Have you ever heard of anybody, especially a quarterback, walking off the field, throwing their shoulder pads in the stands, saying, "I'm done"?
The story of Vince Young's career is one with electrifying highs.
He's going for the corner. He's got it.
And crushing lows.
11 days ago, Vince Young signed a one-year free agent deal with the Browns. Today, the Browns released the former Longhorn quarterback.
He went from being one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in college football history to a tumultuous NFL career that never lived up to its promise. Young's NFL path stands as one of the greatest what-if stories in modern football due to its incredible peak and abrupt ending.
I had a really good time in Nashville. Unfortunately, it ended too fast.
Welcome back to Unlikely Success. Like, comment, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Today, we're talking about Vince Young, a college football icon who seemed destined for NFL greatness, only to see things unravel far too quickly in his professional career. Vince Young was a force of nature at the University of Texas. Standing at 6'5" and nearly 230 pounds, he had the size of a tight end, the speed of a wide receiver, and the arm of an elite quarterback. He was an athlete built for the game of football, and it showed every time he stepped on the field. By 2005, Vince Young had solidified himself as one of the most exciting quarterbacks in college football. His performance in the Rose Bowl against Michigan in 2004 gave us a glimpse of what was to come, but it was the 2006 Rose Bowl, that year's national championship, where he became a legend. Facing USC, a team that was on a 34-game winning streak and packed with NFL-bound talent, like Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, Young put on a show for the ages. He accounted for 467 total yards. He ran for 200 of those and passed for 267. The defining moment came on a 4th and 5 play, with just seconds left, where Young scrambled into the end zone and sealed a 41-38 victory for Texas. He finished second in the Heisman voting that year.
The winner of the 2005 Heisman Memorial Trophy, Reggie Bush.
But after this performance, he was largely considered the best player in the nation. Vince Young was at the pinnacle of college football, and many would assume this success was going to translate to superstardom in the NFL. But heading into the 2006 draft, there was a trio of high-end talent at the quarterback position: Vince Young, Matt Leinart, and Jay Cutler. And for Young, there was significant debate as to whether he could be the first of these three that was selected. While he was praised for his athleticism and his incredible ability to win games, concerns over his throwing mechanics, decision-making, and work ethic took over the conversation about him.
But when you study him on tape, what you have to, when you're taking a guy and you're transitioning to the National Football League, you've got to eliminate 90% of the called design runs by the quarterback. Why? Because they don't work in the NFL, they won't work in the NFL, and if they called that many runs, Vince Young wouldn't make it to week 4. So as far as that aspect of the game for Vince Young, that is a wash in the National Football League, will not work. That means throwing the football becomes more of a priority, and that is where I find a big negative. It was a one-read system in Texas, and they do not have one-read systems in the National Football League. Defense tells you where to throw it, and he didn't do a very good job of reading defenses.
The Tennessee Titans, then led by head coach Jeff Fisher, couldn't resist the allure of a potential game changer. They would select Vince Young 3rd overall, believing that he could be the franchise's next superstar. After all, Young had always won games and made plays, and the Titans were willing to bet that this trend would continue in the pros. At first, things seemed promising. Young's rookie year in 2006 started slowly, but by the middle of the season, he was leading the Titans to one of the most exciting turnarounds in recent NFL history. The Titans finished 8-8 after starting 0-5, and their talented dual-threat quarterback was causing nightmares for defenses. He was named the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year and selected to the Pro Bowl. It looked like the Titans had found their future at quarterback, and Vince Young had quieted many of the doubters who questioned how he would transition to the pros. But success in the NFL is rarely ever this simple. After that promising rookie year, Vince Young's career began to stall. his passing struggles became more pronounced, and he never developed into a polished pocket passer. Young would throw for more interceptions than touchdowns in his second season, and his inconsistency began to frustrate his coaches and teammates. The issues off the field started to grow too. Stories surfaced about Young clashing with head coach Jeff Fisher. Rumors of immaturity and work ethic concerns were also swirling, and public perception of the young QB was turning. In 2008, after starting the first game of the season and getting injured, Young lost his starting job to veteran Kerry Collins. That year, the Titans went 13-3, but Collins was the one who was leading the way. Young returned to the starting lineup in 2009 after the Titans started 0-6. He led the team to an 8-2 record the rest of the way, earning NFL Comeback Player of the Year honors, and it seemed like Vince Young was finally regaining control of his NFL career. But then, in 2010, the drama between Young and Fisher escalated. After a midseason injury, Young was benched, and a post-game confrontation with Fisher resulted in Young being sidelined for the remainder of the year. His time in Tennessee was effectively over. In 2011, the Titans released Vince Young.
The owner of the Tennessee Titans says Vince Young must go.
You knew this thing was coming to a head. It was just a matter of when the announcement would be made.
He signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, never won their starting job, and famously dubbed them a dream team before the season. They would go 8-8. What a mistake that was. Stints with the Buffalo Bills, Green Bay Packers, and Cleveland Browns followed, but Young never recaptured the form he showed in his rookie season. Young's NFL career was marked by brief flashes of brilliance, but with his issues with inconsistency, off-field distractions, and lingering questions about his work ethic, there was always something that kept him from reaching his full potential. In 2014, he officially announced his retirement from football. So, what went wrong for Vince Young? The talent was undeniable. He was a transcendent athlete who could make plays that no one else could. But the NFL requires more than just athleticism. It requires a commitment to development, and his inability to develop as a consistent passer, combined with mental and emotional challenges, contributed to his downfall. Young's career will forever be defined by what if. What if he had been drafted by a different team? What if he had a more supportive coaching staff? What if his work ethic and maturity had developed differently? The answers to these questions will never be known, but Vince Young's college career will always be remembered for that iconic national championship performance, whereas his NFL career will be remembered as a cautionary tale of unmet expectations. While he may not have reached the heights many thought he would in the NFL, Vince Young's legacy as one of the most exciting and dynamic college football players in history remains, but his professional career simply did not live up to the high expectations surrounding it. It's an unfortunate reality of the NFL. Some college stars simply do not translate at the next level. This has been the Unlikely Success.
If you had it to do over again, what are the one or two things you would do differently, knowing what you know now?
Well, you know, the first thing is again, make sure I have the right team off the field and know that it's a business.